In a glen deep in the Highlands of Scotland, a golden eagle launches its attack on a mountain hare below. The golden eagle is the largest, most powerful and dramatic bird of prey native to Britain. But like many powerful predators, it is surrounded by myth and misunderstanding. The eagle has been accused of many crimes. Once upon a time it was baby snatching. Eagles were always bearing off to their eyries hapless children who were rescued just in the nick of time. Fortunately, there have been no baby snatchings this century. However, there are serious charges to answer. As far as many shepherds are concerned, the eagle is all too often looking for young lambs. To many gamekeepers, the eagle is a fearless killer that ruins his shooting by creating havoc on the grouse moors. But just how guilty is the golden eagle of these alleged crimes? Let's take a close look at this wondrous bird and its remarkable way of life. Golden eagles are very rare. They inhabit the uplands of northern Britain. 1 or 2 pairs have recently recolonized part of England, but the main population is in Scotland. Around 200 or so breeding pairs live in the Hebrides and the Highlands. This is eagle country in the Highlands. The peaks, the corries and the deep glens of mountain ranges like the Grampians and the Cairngorms are the eagle's strongholds. Wherever golden eagles live, it's usually as far from human habitation as possible. Even though eagles get better protection today, centuries of trapping and shooting have made them spurn human company. If eagles are known for one thing, it's for their eagle eyes, and their eyesight is truly phenomenal. An eagle's ability to pick out detail at a great distance is far superior to our own. It can spot the slightest movement, even the blink of a grouse's eyelid, a quarter of a mile away. To eagle eyes, all the details are 7 times sharper, because for every sensitive cell in the human eye, the eagle has 7. This is the cock grouse, inflating his red eye wattles in mating display. An eagle sees this in full color, much as we do. Eagles prey on several of the grouse family, including the ptarmigan. But in 80% of cases, the golden eagle goes for rabbits and hares. There's more flesh on them. Eagles are often accused of slaughtering hundreds of young lambs in Scotland, but scientific research shows that they don't. It is true that they will eat lambs, but almost always ones that have died on the hill from natural causes, not live animals. But even so, many eagles are poisoned and shot every year for this reason, despite the fact that it's illegal. Some end up as so-called trophies. Every year, less scrupulous dealers sell Scottish eagles to collectors on the continent. Eagle destruction isn't restricted to Britain. Golden eagles are shot throughout their range in North America, Asia and Europe, often from light aircraft. Scotland has one of the largest populations of golden eagles in Europe, but their low breeding success at present means that their future is very much in the balance. People often confuse the golden eagle with the much smaller, faster flapping buzzard. The buzzard's wingspread of 4 feet is much less than the golden eagle's massive span of around 7 feet. Also, a buzzard's head is much smaller in relation to body size. A golden eagle is so large that you can see one over a mile away with the naked eye, and it has an unmistakable mastery of the air that no other bird in Britain possesses. The eagle makes use of every upcurrent of mountain breeze to gain height. In aerodynamic terms, it has a low wing loading, supporting its body weight on very long, broad wings and a large tail. As a result, it can fly and soar into the wind almost as efficiently as it can with it. This eagle is searching for prey. In flapping flight, those broad wings make deep, leisurely but highly precise strokes that give the eagle its unique impression of controlled power. Eagle eyes locked onto target, the predator homes in on its prey. The final stoop can be anywhere between 30 and 100 miles an hour. This is slow motion. Swerving with the broad blade of its tail, the eagle kills by impaling the prey with its talons during the struggle. The eagle's beak is seldom the instrument of death. It's for opening the carcass, which is usually partly skinned before consumption. Mountain hares like this one may form up to 90% of its diet. In winter, food can be hard to find, but the eagle's hunting and scavenging range of 10 to 20,000 acres usually provides something every few days at least. Within its hunting range is the eagle's nesting territory. Cliff nesting sites are the rule in this part of the highlands, though eagles often use trees elsewhere. The nesting crags are still iced up in March, when our eagle year begins. But this doesn't deter the golden eagles at all in their courtship displays. The high circling is a territorial advertisement display, but to be strictly unscientific, you get the feeling that they soar like this for the sheer exhilaration of it too. High circling has another purpose. It's the male eagle's display to his mate. Eagles pair for life, unless one or other dies, in which case the bereaved bird takes another mate. The female, or hen eagle, is on the eyrie below. At the eyrie, the eagle pair preen each other with an unexpected degree of closeness. This is the male, or cock eagle. The male is smaller, with a wingspan on average of 6'10", or 6 inches less than the female. This means he can fly faster and circle more tightly. The male will soar in display flight over this mountain wilderness throughout the winter and early spring. The female eagle watches the sky dance above. The spectacular rising and diving flight of the male eagle is known as roller coastering. During his dives, the eagle must be close to his maximum of 100 miles an hour. He certainly drops like a stone. Before mating, the pair circle in a more leisurely manner. Mating takes place away from the nest. An eagle pair will occupy the same range year after year if they escape persecution. Successive pairs have probably occupied this undisturbed area for centuries. During that time, they have built several eyries. This pair now have 7 to choose from. In this case, which is typical, the pair selected a cliff site at about 2,000 feet. Sub-zero temperatures and snow don't seem to bother the eagles. They can fast for up to 2 weeks, and have special down feathers to keep them warm. For a few days in mid-March, the weather may ease up in the highlands, but never for long, and it is amid snow and blizzards that the golden eagles do most of their courtship and nest building. A few eagles will be unpaired for the breeding season ahead. They're the ones that have not yet reached maturity. These young eagles may be tolerated in their parents' range or may move further afield, hunting where they can, as we'll see. A young golden eagle hunting in early March. It quarters the hillsides, flying a straight course for several hundred yards at a time before turning back and searching the ground in front, so that the whole area is covered. This is a 2- or 3-year-old eagle, not yet fully mature. The golden eagle is a thorough, patient hunter, which will wait until the conditions are right. Even so, only about 1 in 10 attempts is successful. The hare doubles back behind the rock just in time. The eagle gives up. Eagles seldom make a second attempt. Eagles lay their eggs in mid-March. 2 is the general rule, though occasionally just 1 and sometimes 3 or 4. The pair takes turns at incubating the eggs, but the female usually does more in terms of hours. Here, the female relieves the male. They both hunt for themselves during the 6-week-long incubation, though the male eagle will sometimes bring his catch back for his mate. When the eggs hatch out in early May, the young eaglets bring out the gentler side of their mother's character. She's very careful not to touch them with her talons as she maneuvers to brood them. It would be so easy to slip and skewer one by mistake. May is a chilly month in the Highlands, and the chicks need all the warmth they can get. Breeding success is low in Scotland. Chicks are often destroyed by man. They sometimes kill each other, as we'll see. The male eagle stays close by. He has to intensify his hunting activity now to provide for all the family. The female won't leave the nest for long at this stage. The first eaglet hatches 2 or 3 days before the second. It grows stronger and is highly aggressive to the second eaglet in front. At feeding time, it attacks the younger and eventually often kills it, either by wounding it or by starvation. 2 days later, the second eaglet is dead, and the female eagle moves the body to the edge of the nest. This killing of the younger eaglet by the older is known as the Cain and Abel syndrome. It happens in several species of eagle, but no one knows why. Shortage of food doesn't seem to have anything to do with it. Golden eagles in poor prey areas often raise 2 young. It was once thought that the eagles laid a second egg as an insurance against loss of the first, but research has shown that this is not the reason. At present, the Cain and Abel battle is a bit of a mystery. The male eagle comes into the eyrie with food, but he seldom stays for more than a few seconds before gliding away over the gorge below towards hunting country, with an ease of flight only golden eagles have. At the eyrie, the hen eagle feeds her eaglet with the utmost care. If the eaglet pulls hard, the hen eagle will increase the size of the pieces of meat. In his quest for prey, the male eagle covers vast distances. It's the eagle's superb design that makes it all possible. The eagle can soar and glide for miles without apparent effort. A week after hatching, the female eagle leaves her eaglet for the first time, either to go off to hunt or just to stretch her wings for an hour or two. At 3 weeks, the eaglet's wings are edged with black, now that its first flight feathers are beginning to grow through. But the white, fluffy down still gives the chick an air of innocence. Only the beak gives a clue of its life of hunting ahead. The eaglet is now about 4 pounds in weight, and its appetite grows daily. Both parents have to airlift in food regularly. In this case, the food is a mountain hare. At 3 weeks, the female still has to feed her gawky eaglet. Red grouse also features on the menu, but to put the record straight, eagles do not take the 30 or 40 grouse a week some keepers would have you believe. 2 or 3 at maximum is closer to the mark. The real problem is that when an eagle appears on a grouse moor, it makes the grouse suddenly scatter in all directions, which is just about the last straw for a keeper during a driven grouse shoot. It's a difficult problem to resolve, but one that shouldn't be solved by shooting or poisoning eagles. At the end of June, the eaglet's down is almost completely replaced by dark feathers. The female eagle brings in a small scrap of food in her beak, which is unusual. She normally uses her talons to carry prey. At 7 weeks old, the eaglet begins to get the feel of its new flight feathers. The eaglet's eyesight develops as it watches each and every moving object close to the eyrie, like this redstart. A young missel thrush attracts its attention. The eaglet also has an increasingly keen eye for every meal that approaches. With every passing day, the eaglet gets more noisy and aggressive towards its parents and more possessive about its food. Here, the male eagle has brought in prey, but the eaglet is eating already and under the impression that the male will try to steal its food, so it turns its back. In the end, it's all too close for comfort. After all that, the prey turns out to be a rat. Something that's not much to the eaglet's liking, so it goes back to its grouse. Early July is the time of fledging for most of the young eaglets in Scotland. At our eyrie, the youngster should be on the brink of leaving the nest. It is certainly getting pretty close to it, but it doesn't quite have the urge to leave yet. One reason may be that its parents are still feeding it regularly at this stage, which makes it lazy and disinclined to make the first flight. It's actually heavier than its parents now. When the parents bring in prey, they all but get attacked by their eaglet. Finally, at 10 weeks, the parents stop feeding at the eyrie. The eaglet's body weight drops by about half a pound, and then it's ready to take the plunge, so to speak, off the cliff. The first landing isn't perfect, but for a maiden flight, things haven't gone too badly. Flying is instinctive for most birds, but the finer points of control will always have to be practiced, particularly in eagles. Now a quarter of a mile from its eyrie, The eaglet will spend the next few days on this hillside trying out its flying skills. It climbs up the slope through the bracken to gain height for further flights. During this period of flight trials, the parents will keep an eye on their youngster, coming in to feed it until it can hunt for itself. Come the autumn, the eaglet is an accomplished flyer and highly capable of looking after itself. At first, it's not very sure how to handle the plucking of the kill, but it will soon get the hang of it. 3 years later, it has a hunting range of its own. Only 1 in 3 eagles survives this long, so it has been fortunate. Now it's a spectacular precision killer. This is slowed up action. Today, Scotland's golden eagles are on the decline. Development of the highlands and poison baits set to kill birds of prey are the main causes of this critical situation. Shooting eagles at their eyries is another factor. There is absolutely no justification for this killing, and an official eagle population survey is urgently needed to find out how best to stop it. Only with more enlightened attitudes will we continue to see the golden eagle in the glens of the Highlands of Scotland, following its chosen way of life. The majestic, compelling, and powerful way of an eagle.